welcome to another episode of Woman Witness Podcast, The Stories at the Well. I'm your host, Leah Fortier. Here on this platform, we bring to you voices of women who are out here making a positive impact and making a difference in their lives and in their communities and the world around them. I am so excited to introduce to you a very important, special topic. I want you all to lean in, grab a seat, turn it up, grab a friend, grab a sister, because this is going to be good. Today, I have an amazing guest I want to introduce you to. Her name is LaKrish Mayes. LaKrish, welcome to the well. How are you, girl?
I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having this platform and just thank you for inviting me. I'm grateful for you to do this for other women so we can have just that safe space to be able to come and talk and speak and inspire others on whatever journey they're on.
Yes, yes. And I'm excited too. LaKrish, tell us a little bit about yourself. You have an amazing platform yourself, which amazed me, drew me in, especially surrounding the topic of bonus mom and blended families today. So tell us a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your podcast.
I'm LaKrish Mayes. I'm the bonus mom coach. I am a big blended family advocate. I am the owner of, now God got me doing some rebranding. It was Blended to
Yes.
Thrive, but it's blended family impact because that's what I'm doing across the world. I am impacting every blended family at a time positively, whether that is through my coaching services, through my content, through my apparel, through my podcast. So I am here on this God-given journey of making an impact with blended families and bringing positivity around it. I am from a blended family. I've been part of a blended family since I was 9 months old. So blended family is tried and true to my heart. North Carolina, where we got the Bojangles, okay, sweet
Yes.
tea, catfish,
Yes.
how we do down here. Tar Heels, let's go. Carolina Panthers, we love y'all too. I'm just so excited to be here.
Good. You know what? Okay, so I want to tell you this. I was so excited, and I love to hear that you're from a blended family too, because I was as well. And I do believe that being from a blended family will shape you depending on your experience. It will shape you either way, but it will shape you for the good or for the bad, depending on your personal experience. And I love the fact that you bring not only you bring both sides of it. You bring what you lived and you bring what you are currently living or doing. So we're going to get more into that as we go on. And before we move forward, I want to let you know I am repping my shirt. I don't know if y'all can see it. Y'all got to lean in a little bit. I'm repping my boy mom era shirt. Okay. And which, if I had time, LaCrice, I would have totally put me together. I got one of those little cricket machines. I would have put together a bonus mom era.
Come, that's what we need. Come
Okay.
on.
Come on, listen, because I'm a bonus mom too. And yes, honey, yes. And being raised in a blended family home, I learned everything that I learned on my journey during my bonus mom era. Okay. Which I'm still in it. Once you in it for life.
That's it. For life, okay?
I learned what I learned from what I see, how my bonus mom, how my stepmother treated me. And I
Yeah.
took everything and I said, you know what? I want to take that same values, the same way she respected me, respecting my mom, and I want to take it into the lives of my young boys. This is not about me. So I want you to talk to us. And you introduced yourself. Tell us a little bit about your experience and your background with a blended family.
My parents have been together since I was 9 months old. So my mom and my bonus dad, he is a pivotal role in my life and my kids' lives. My biological father, he was around, but he wasn't active. So, my bonus dad, my pops, as I call him, he didn't have to experience, the maybe so struggles as it is what comes with blended families as far as like co-parenting and caretaking, but I will say he's never treated me any different than my sisters. Whatever they got, I got. Matter of fact, I went by my parents' house last week. He was like, let me check your oil, baby girl. So, he plays a major role. And even that extended family that I have, my grandmother on his side, my great grandmother, my cousins, my aunts, I am family. They call me niece, they call me granddaughter, they call me cousin. When he introduces us to family members, I have three daughters. Right. So, it is something major, and I take that to the heart most definitely.
Can I ask you, LaKrish, just so we can put ourselves into perspective? So you said it was your mom, so it was your bonus dad. So you guys share the same mother and just different. So okay, all right, yep, I know that. I have that now. My situation growing up differently, but this relates to everyone listening. I had a stepsister that was the same age as me, and stepbrothers. We had different moms and dads. But then I still have a little sister that we shared the same dad, different moms. So listen, we can go deep in this blended situation. But I right? But I love the fact in which I know you're gonna tie in during this episode, that family is family. There was no stepbrothers, no stepsisters, no blood brother, no half sister, none of that. Family is family. And like you said, your bonus dad introduced you all as his daughters.
That's it.
I
We all one.
whew, I get it. I get excited about this. Tell us about your current blended family situation.
Yeah, so I am a bonus mom to one. My bonus daughter is 21,
Mhm.
and me and my husband, we have a son. He is 9. I know it's a big age gap, y'all. Okay,
Aw.
but I've been in her life since she was 6,
Uh,
and we are embarking on college graduation. Okay, can we say we did it?
yes,
Play
ma'am.
that song, okay? Let's take
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
I love it. Kids, they are brother and sister. They are not
Yes.
half.
Thank
And my parents treat my bonus daughter just as though they treat my son and my nephew.
yeah.
And so it just goes to show how everything, like you said, everything ties in together. What my grandparents and everything have done on my bonus dad side, that's what my parents are now doing for my bonus daughter. They don't treat her any different. Whatever she needs, they just a phone call away, whether
Yes.
it's birthdays, graduation, they got that intact. And so, that's my blended family.
When did you know, LaCrice, that this is what you wanted to do, that you wanted to create space for other families? What happened in your life? What was that pivotal point that you said, this is a change that I want to impact?
It was 2019. I had a stroke. I will never forget that day.
Mm.
November 23rd, 2019, I had a stroke while I was shopping for my sister's wedding dress. And yeah,
Just
yes.
out shopping.
Yes, just out shopping and straightening out her wedding gown, and then all of a sudden, I lift back up a whole left side, and, 3 weeks prior to that, I'm gonna, go a little bit further, but 3 weeks prior to the stroke, I said a prayer over myself, watching a prophetess online. It says, "Say a prayer over yourself for
Mm.
strokes, heart attacks." I was like, "Why do I gotta do that for? I ain't gotta worry about that." But God said, "Go back, pray that prayer."
Mm.
And, to this day, people are like, "You had a what? You don't look like it." And I'm like, me and God, we had a tussle. So while recovering from that stroke in 2019, me and
Mm.
God were having a tussle. We were having a furniture moving match, okay? And I'm like, God, why me? He's like, why not you? I want you to help people. I
Mm.
need you to help. I need you to get in a space to be able to help people. But first, I need to make you vulnerable. I need to make you
Mm.
sit in what you need to sit in to open yourself to others, be transparent.
Mm.
And I started from there. I wrote my devotional journal about my stroke journey and my faith journey because my faith really deteriorated. It was just, you
Mm.
know, non existent. And then, from there, I was like, I want to help people. What can I do? And I'm like, I can help people with marriage, because I'm married, or I can help women who are struggling in their faith. At the
Yeah.
bottom of that list was blended families. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be, don't nobody do that,
Yeah. Come on. Come on.
So I was like, maybe not. And, working with the coach, every coach got a coach.
Yeah, because
Working with the coach, we talked about it. He was like, what type of transformation can you provide? for
Mm,
each one of these things that you're talking about, and I talked about
mhm.
each one. And then when I got to blended families, he was like, "You should see your face." He said, "I'm going to
Lit
send
up.
you the recording of this," because when I talked about it, it was excitement, it was feeling, it was emotion, it was just I could relate so deeply.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "This is it. This is your calling. This is what God has prepared you for," and which is funny because I said I would never date anybody with kids.
Didn't we all say that? I think so.
So hence, me starting my journey, creating content and building, this platform, how God is having me build it.
So many questions, LaKrish. I want to stay on track, but I can't. I love the fact that you said that when you actually spoke with your coach and he heard you say that thing that God probably put down in your belly, but you were like, "No, there's no room, there's no space for it." But hearing him say and hearing you say that he said your face lit up, it just provides even more confirmation that you are definitely on the right track and you are speaking up and speaking out about something. I want to just, this is outside of my notes, but I want to ask you, why do you feel that God brought this particular subject to you and highlighted this to you? Why do you feel that it was so important that it needed to be done now?
Because I wanted to do something that I didn't have. He's like, "I need you to help those women. Remember how you used to be. Remember
Mm,
how confused you were. Remember how you were second guessing your relationship with your husband. We were dating, just relationships, just period. Remember
yeah.
you didn't have anybody to talk to. Remember when you felt like being
Mm,
like you were judged. Remember, when everybody was like, oh, they just gonna date. He just gonna go back and date his his ex or,
mm,
whatever. But it's like, remember how you went through your journey as a child. Talk about all of that, bring that and tie that all in together because, that's what it's about. It's just talking about what I love and what I know and what I'm an expert at.
mm,
I'm an expert at being a bonus child. I'm an expert at being a bonus mom. And for those people who
mm.
second guess, like, I don't know if I need to date nobody with kids. No, sis, you can
You can.
with the right tools, but always make sure that it's the right environment for you as well. Cause I don't want women to sit in it when they don't need to be.
Ooh, that's deep right there. Okay, so I wasn't gonna go here, it's not on my notes, but I wanna talk to you about that because I do believe that is so important to decide and understand and be able to see what it is that you are sitting in and make sure that it is a comfortable and the right environment for you. I gotta say la. Um, because I do believe that when we say to ourselves, you know what, I will never date anyone who has kids, right? Reason being is because sometimes it is hard to put yourself in that other shoe. My question for you, LaKrish, is how did you overcome that and say, you know what, I can sit in this seat and be comfortable and be a help? How did you sit in that seat?
It was a struggle. Imma be honest, it was a struggle for me. It was times when I was second guessing everything. I mean, I love the way my husband handled it. I didn't meet his daughter until a year after we were in a relationship. And he was like, "I gotta make sure because I'm introducing you to the most important person to me. So I need to make sure that this is real because I don't want my daughter to see, hey, this is how women are supposed to be treated. So I need to make sure I need to protect her." I would say that, but prayer. I'm gonna be honest, prayer helped me. I know that everybody said it may be cliche, but that was prayer. I would say just going through it. I went through. I just went through the motions with everything. I would say I didn't know how. It was a trial and error. It was a trial and error. There is no handbook to being a bonus parent. There's no handbook to being a parent.
No.
So I had to literally sit in it and like, God, is this right? Or maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know. I ain't got nobody to talk to. They gonna judge me because they
Mm,
like, well, I know you shouldn't have dated nobody that had kids. But it's like, but I love this child. Me and her have a bond. If this was my child, everything's not gonna be perfect. We're not gonna always agree, but you got a whole nother party that's coming in, whole nother parent that has so much say so, which is understandable.
yeah.
Them 2 are going at it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "What in the world is going on?"
Hold on, LaCrice, talk to me about that. I want because this is serious, and ooh, I could take it. I could take this right here and run. But this, we are talking to you. Talk to me about that. What did you do? How did you feel in those moments? Talk to some of us.
Those moments I felt like I was walking on eggshells. Those moments I sometimes felt overlooked.
Mm,
Those moments I felt resentment.
mm,
Those moments I just felt like I was a guest or a stranger. Those moments I was, I guess, Alice from, the Brady Bunch.
yes.
Sometimes I didn't have any feelings. So, for me, as a person who knew how to communicate and knew how to talk, I couldn't really talk. I
Mm,
didn't know what to say, how f so it wouldn't come out as, I'm not in it. So
mm,
it wouldn't come out, bad. So we would have to have those uncomfortable conversations.
yeah.
And who
Yeah.
wants to have those?
Nobody.
I don't want to put anybody in a position to where you feel like you have to choose between your child and this person because it shouldn't have to be that way because we got this outside person coming in. I felt like she's dictating
Yeah.
our household because
Yeah.
you're going to feel like that. And it took for my husband to say, you know what? I respect that.
Yeah.
I have to get some boundary. We had to start getting those boundaries. It's like a lot
Mhm.
of things that I couldn't take. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be those moments where, you're second guessing, but that's definitely why I created that space. So
You could talk about it. You c right. LaKrish, I can if I can just take a couple moments just to share mine because whoo, God is so good. He will give you something and have you go through it. When I my 2 sons, my 2 bonus babies, I love when you call it the title bonus babies because it is a bonus. It's a bonus blessing. Thank you, Jesus. They were my first kids, honey. And I too, their 2 is a big gap. So I have 24, 25, and then I have 11, 8, and 6. Sorry, I forget. There's a lot of kids. All all boys. And I look at it like this. When I first met them, when they were 4 and 5, young. I'm with you. I see it. We are listen, okay? And one of the things that I learned, and I didn't know that I learned this. I learned it from watching my stepmother. And how one thing that she never did, she never put her hands on me. Thank you, Jesus. She never called me out of my name. She never put down my mom. She always welcomed her, and I never had to call her anything that I didn't feel comfortable with. And I remember saying to my young self, and I ain't gonna tell you how young I was really young. And very young, and I remember having a conversation with each of them, not at the same time, because listen here, I was the last one to the party, LaCriche. Okay, so I didn't know their dynamic. I didn't know what went on, but I remember this. This is what I told them. I told first my husband that wasn't my husband at the time. I cannot move forward with you until you fix whatever this is with them and your children. I don't care if y'all have to, I don't care. Y'all don't have to be best friends, but y'all have to have a relationship to raise these kids because I'm not having no kids with you until you figure this out. Because okay, so that was one. And I remember talking to each of them separately. I said, the same thing that I just told you. I will not put my hands on your child. I will not push you out the way. You will have a voice. They don't have to call me nothing, but they just have to respect me. And I promise you, I'll respect them. And I kept that as a young child, LaCriche. I was young. I say young child because I was young compared to how I am right now. You know what I mean? So hopefully there's people listening right now who may be in that situation right now and they can figure out what to do. I believe in that moment, LaCriche, I made the children the focus.
that's so important. I didn't get that, so to speak.
Yeah.
Everybody's
No,
journey different.
everybody's different. Yes, go ahead.
Everybody blended. So out here, y'all, everybody blended family journey is going to be
Right,
different, and that's okay.
right.
However y'all get there, that's okay. I didn't get that. It was I mean, she's not the parent, so she doesn't have necessarily be involved. And I took offense to that. Like I said, I'm new at this, and I'm like, So my
Mhm.
husband, we dating, and he was just like, okay, he was
Mhm.
he was trying to work it out because it was a struggle with him because
Yeah.
he's like, okay, I don't want to not see my child. I don't want to cause any friction there. And it's like,
Yeah.
I got this woman that I do love and I don't want to lose her. And
Mhm.
so, which I didn't understand, but I didn't get that. But when we did meet and interact, she wanted to call me mom because
Mm.
I tell her that wasn't what she had to do. I didn't make her, but her mom didn't like that, which
Yeah.
is that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And,
Yeah.
my husband was just like, she voiced that to him. And my
Mm.
husband told her, he said, I don't care. That means she made her feel that way enough to call her mom. And he said, if you were to date anybody and get with anyone else, that if she called him dad, I would be okay with that because nobody could ever take my place. I'm very secure in my role as her father.
Amen.
And, she was just like, she was like, I didn't think about it like that. But, she calls me, bonus mom or stepmom, she calls me
Yeah.
that. But, everybody's journey is going to be different. Some people are not going to want to sit down and have those
Have a conversation.
conversations.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
even want to see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's okay too.
Yes. They're grieving. We gotta
Yes.
understand that these bio moms are going through their own journey
Yes.
themselves. They are grieving, not as in a sense of death, physically.
No.
It's a death of a relationship,
Yeah.
and it's like they're sitting out on the lawn while you're looking inside of a house with your children and the family that you thought that you were gonna have with that person. It's like, now this woman trying to come and take my place.
Uh,
You know, it's not that. We got to understand they are also going through their own journey with their relationship and how everything ended. And it could be a failed moment with them that I'm not going to have my kids in the same household as my spouse,
mm,
So I
yeah.
didn't understand that either. But, we have to give them that grace as well too, that they are going through their own journey. We can be respectful now.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
We can
That's
be
first and
respectful.
foremost. Come on.
But I know you're going through your own journey, and I promise I'm gonna love your child. I'm going to nurture them. I'm going to give them that tough love that they need. I'm not going to put my hands because in my blended family, my bonus dad, he didn't discipline me either.
Yeah.
My mom did all the discipline.
Yeah.
He'll tell me, hey, you might want to calm down,
Yeah.
or any of that. But yeah,
Can we just sit there for a second and Lucretia and I are not giving anybody advice what to do in your own home. Please do what you will. However, I want to talk to you about that discipline part because I volunteered that and because like I told you what I grew up with and you said the same thing. So talk to us a little bit about that. Talk to some of those couples who don't really know how to define those lines within that relationship. How do we have that conversation with our boo?
that's something that comes off the rip for me. It's
Okay.
like, my husband was like, "Well, I trust you. I know you wouldn't do anything to harm her, hurt her." He said, "I don't mind you punishing her." Or
Right.
I said, "What me? I don't feel comfortable,
Yes.
popping her. If that's our child, I can discipline her like, hey, you know better, or I'm gonna tell your dad if it's something else needs to be done, even more." And but that was one thing. Her mom was like, "Well, she better not put her hands on my," But you gotta understand you putting your child in the care of somebody else's, so you don't know people's mentality. So, but that's why you gotta take time to know people. But anyway, I would say, talk with that mate. Everybody needs to talk because you don't need to put your hands assuming that it's okay to put your hands on a child, because how would you like a teacher whooping your child, right? I know some of our kids need whoopings when they be in school, okay? But how would you feel if the teacher took it upon theirself to put their hands on your child, right? So you gotta respect everybody's boundaries and everybody's parenting. That's why I think it's so important that discipline needs to be talked about because sometimes with bonus, I know how I was as a bonus child. I got a little smart in the mouth sometimes. You
Mhm.
can get that way, and it's
Yeah.
like you gotta have that conversation, and don't let your kids be disrespectful to that bonus parent.
Yes.
That
Yes.
happens a lot too.
Yeah.
So you got to be everybody has to be on the same accord when it comes down to discipline. That's what even though every household runs differently, we got to be like this, right? If we're going to
Yes.
have some type of structure with this child, it's not going to happen like that in all blended families. But if y'all can get there, but yeah, definitely talk about that, because I'm not gonna put my hands on your child now.
Right.
So
Right.
Even though
That's
they might have the moments, you might wanna
yeah.
just
It's
tussle with them. But, I gotta say, "Hey, Imma tell your daddy."
yeah. Okay, so hold on. Now you're gonna bring me a little bit one step further because I want to talk to you about the talent. One of the things that I resented, and but this turned around and bit me a little bit, and I want to talk about this. I resented as a young child, and when I was a little baby, a little girl, I say living at home with my parents, and oh my god, when mom said, mom used to always say, "I'm gonna tell your dad." It would upset me. Okay, I would just get so upset. I'm like, why you gotta tell? Like, like talk to me. I'll go in my room or something, but why you gotta tell? And so I took that into the relationship. And I remember I would say this to my boys when they were younger, I'm gonna tell your dad. But then but I decided at some point in my mind that I was gonna stop. And the reason being is I wanted to try to establish some respect with them. And that if it happened and I needed to bring their dad in, I would. Because one of the things I hated was when he walked in that door and I was running the tail. And I didn't like my dad for a lot of different reasons, but we ain't talking about me. That's a lot of my trauma. But I hated when he walked in the door because I knew that she was about to go tell. So, okay, LaKrish, talk to us. Talk to us. And we are all different. Like you said, everybody's journey is different. Talk to some of us who are the bonus parents. And, maybe for some biological parents too. How do we decipher what we're going to tell the disciplinary? How do we decipher when to tell, if to tell? Talk to us about that.
I would say, for me, it'll be those mo like you said, is we have to have some sense of authority because
Yeah.
they're not gonna respect us.
Yes.
They look at us like, "Oh, you just, you wanna be buddy buddy with them so
Yeah.
bad, and they can cross that line." That's where those lines get blurred.
Yes.
And, we had a moment like that with my bonus, or we were in the car. It was raining really, really badly,
Mhm.
and she was playing around, so I would sit down because daddy's driving, I'm trying to see for him. And then
Right.
she did something, she had stuck in my ear. I was like, "Sit." I had to raise my voice,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
She went back home, she wrote a letter, and she told me that you hurt my feelings. I didn't think, that you would ever do that. You were my
Mm.
friend. That's what me and her had to sit down and have a
Yes.
conversation.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
said, "I'm sorry I hurt your feelings." I said,
Mm.
"One, I'm an adult,
Yes.
and we have to listen to adults,
Mm.
right?"
Mm.
And so we were in a situation where it was a dangerous situation.
Yes.
The car it was raining terribly bad. It was
Yes.
like a downpour. It could have had an accident where it could have hurt all of us in the car. I
Yes.
said, "You have to understand, I love you, but you have to listen to when I say stop, that means stop." And,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
it's definitely
Yes,
you
ma'am.
gotta have some type of authority because it's gonna cause a lot of blurred lines where they're gonna just not respect you. You don't
Yeah.
have to be bully, but it's some stuff that my bonus order may tell me, and just out of as far as womanly things,
Yeah.
that if it's not an emergency or not of anything big where she just wants to vent, because as bonus parents, sometimes we are that venting space for them,
Yeah.
those bonus kids, when they feel like, I don't know if I can tell my mama this or my daddy
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So, I still have those conversations with my bonus dad. If it's just me and him sitting down talking, I'll, just run something by him and he'll give me his opinion. I may or may not tell my mom,
Yeah.
but it's like I know that I can trust in him, as a
Yeah.
parent. It's like,
That
so I
safe
would say if
space.
it's like a dire, if it's like an emergency. I think we had one incident where I had to tell my husband, like, "Hey, I didn't want to tell you,
Yeah.
but I think you need to do X, Y, and Z because
Mhm.
I'm worried."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I said, "Don't make a big deal out of it. Just
Mhm.
ask a couple questions to see if you can kinda get it out of her. But
Yeah.
all of us may need to sit down and just have some type of conversations, with her about it." But, as a parent, as a parental figure,
Yeah.
those certain conversations where they're just coming to you and you can give them that advice just as you would if that was your child. And
Mhm.
then you can also cipher between like, okay, I'm gonna take it in, but
Yeah.
I'm also gonna need to go back and tell your parent
Yeah.
because I feel as though they need to know what's going on.
Right. That's so deep, Lucretia. It really, really is because those blurred lines can get blurry real quick, and how depending on how long we leave them blurred, when it really matters, it can blow up on us. And I love what you said about that, and I love the analogy, the story you told with the, when you had to take authority when she was standing up, because although we are in that position, we are still a parent, we are still an authority figure that they must listen to, because it could be life or death situations. Whew, I remember the first time when my boys, they were probably like 7, I believe, and this was the first time. This was before text. This is for anything, okay, y'all. Like, and I remember one came for the summer, and I told him to clean his room. His dad was at work, and he was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it." And I said, "Okay, well, why not?" And he was like, "I don't even have to clean my room at home, and my mom said that I don't have to clean my room." I said, "Okay, she said that," and he said, "Yes, she did." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna call her." And he was like, "You said what?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna call her." And I went, got the little house phone, called her, and I said, I won't say her name. I said, "Hey," I said, "I have our boy here, and this is how I talk. This is how I talk to them. Hey, hey, sis," is what I would call her. "Hey, I have our boy here." And that's how that was our relationship. "I have our boy here, and he said that he did not have to clean his room at home with you. So therefore, he said that he would come here and he didn't have to clean his room here." She was like, "Okay." He said that. I said, "Yes, ma'am, he did." "Can you put him on the phone?" Put him right on the phone. And he got off that phone call. He went right in that room and started cleaning his room. And he came to me, he's like, "I didn't expect you to call my mom." And I said, "I didn't expect you to say that you didn't clean your room at home and that you didn't have to clean it here with your dad and I." And he said, "Well, she didn't say that, and I'm not gonna say it again." He said, "Are you gonna call her again?" I said, "If I have to." I said, "I wanna make sure that you're doing the same things at your mom's house that you're doing at your dad's and mine." And that was at 7 years old, LaKrish, and it worked for us, that open line of communication. I want you to tell us if you had any similar experiences like this, or if you could speak to anyone who may be in a situation where mama said this at this house, and now I don't have to do it at this house.
Yes, I have. Well, you know, with us, we didn't really necessarily have to worry as far as with that,
Mhm,
but I've had clients that have experienced that,
mhm.
and I'm like, "You gotta call their bluff, just like you did. Oh, your mama said that? We may not talk. She may not like me. I'm gonna call her because I don't believe your mama said that." And kids will take bonus kids will try to maybe take advantage of the situation because they're kids. They can see the relationship. Y'all may not talk. They may overhear your mama talk about, "Oh, I don't like her." They may overhear y'all talk about how you feel about the mom, and they're gonna take that and use that for their advantage. What kid wouldn't? That's like when a substitute come to class, okay? When a substitute come to class, what everybody doing? Sitting in different seats, saying I'm this person, going to the bathroom more than they have to. Now come on. It's like play a game, not me. So, it's like you gotta call their bluff about it. You be respectful about it. It's like, "Hey, I know we don't talk." Even that could be y'all first conversation. "Hey, we don't talk, but this is what's going on. He said this. I don't believe that. Not saying he's a liar. I'm just saying I don't believe because the type of person that you are, I don't believe that they wouldn't clean at home."
Right,
Then here we go from there. That could
right.
build a rapport between you guys or, or something of that sort. But definitely they're gonna try you. Okay.
They're
If they
gonna try
see
it.
there's disruption in both homes, everybody may not be talking, or they're gonna take advantage of it.
Come
They're
on.
going to. You got to get it together.
Come on, Lucretia, I want to take that deeper. I want us to look. I'm no marriage counselor, okay, and I'm not coming from a good, I'm not trying to be the model marriage person either. But I can tell you something: in any relationship, especially when we're raising kids, kids see dysfunction. Kids see y'all ain't talking. I mean, I listen. I looked at my son one time, and he was trying to. I called my husband. I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "Oh, I'm gonna go get him some shoes." I just told him he can't have no shoes because I just washed his shoes. His shoes are brand new. He said he told me that he talked to you about it, and it was on a point where we decided we weren't going to talk to each other for a couple days. They pick up on that. They see that, and so imagine if you were raising kids in two different homes. Listen, I'm not trying to say my our situation, and even with my my kids, my my husband's kid's mother with my bonus baby's moms have always been perfect, but there's always been that line of communication. And we have to have it for the betterment of our children. Okay, I'm gonna bring it in. I'm gonna bring us home, Lucretia. 'Cause if not, we could be talking about this all day. I want you to talk to us about, and I don't want to get all mushy, but obviously you understand and what you were saying and what your whole platform is about is one is the well-being and the health of the parents.
Yeah, definitely.
It is. So can you talk to us a little bit about why the health and the well-being of us is so important?
I know everybody says this, how are you going to pour from an empty cup? We've seen, our parents, if they are unhappy, sometimes that can reflect and come out on the child.
Mhm.
And they didn't deserve to be yelled at,
Mhm.
or to be treated a certain way
Mhm.
because you had a rough day, or you're going through a breakup, or you're going through something just that's overwhelming you. The kids didn't deserve that, and they shouldn't have it taken out on them. I definitely seek coaching, marital coaching, marital counseling,
Mhm.
therapy, individually and together.
Yeah.
Make sure that your mental health is well, because sometimes we can start instilling those things into our children, and
Yeah.
then they can take and pick up on that, and they start to resemble that type of behavior, and we don't want that. Those unhealthy behaviors is not something that we want our kids to take on,
Mhm.
or to go through life with. And it's just, you have to be well. You have to make sure your stress levels are down. Take exercise, right? Go on like dates, wherever that may be. Me and my husband, we would go to like different places in North Carolina
Yeah.
and different little towns, and just go like for the weekend, and stay, and just remember, you have to reaffirm that love that y'all have together, and love yourself, because you are important. Your mental health is so important, and mental well-being.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you put yourself, and you and your partner on the forefront, so these kids can see a good and loving household, because they're already in a broken home already. So there's no need to take them through another broken cycle again. Let's show them what love can be, what good parenting from all parties can be, what healthy communication looks like, healthy attitude. I told my son, you have a positive mindset, you have a positive day. You know, you
Mhm.
gotta
Mhm.
think those things, speak those things. Life and death is in the power of your tongue.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure that your well-being is great, so it can be great for the children.
I love that. I love that. Talk to some of us bonus moms out there, and they're just either getting into it, they're in the thick of it, or their babies are 21, 24. I want you to talk to all of us and from start to finish.
Have an open mind, have grace, have empathy, take on self-care and soul care. Being a bonus mama never ends, just like being a mama never ends, no matter how old they get. Understanding that kids go through different stages, so we have to give them their grace. We have to, give them empathy, because they are struggling with all of this as well. Give our partners grace as well, because they're struggling with trying to please a whole bunch of people. And give that bio mom, you know, grace, and we're gonna have to respect each other, okay?
Yeah.
Um,
Love you.
but give give them grace too as well, because this is a, yes, bonus moms, we are navigating through this, but understand that everybody, right? It's not just about us.
Mm.
On certain situations, it can be.
Thank
But
you.
it's not just about us. And understanding, I always say, a blended family is like a pyramid. The base is the biological parents,
Mm.
and once you add on the bonus mom or bonus dad and the children and all this,
Yes.
depending on how strong that base is going to give that good foundation to that bonus and blended family pyramid. So
Mm.
the parents, y'all may not like each other,
Mm. Mm.
right? But it's okay. Y'all are adults. Y'all were once together. Y'all
Yeah.
were once in love, because you made these kids. And
Mm.
understanding that people grow. You're not dealing with the same person that you used to deal with. If you are going through, definitely seek support.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of that. Join a safe space. Get coaching. Get tips.
That was so good, LaKrish, and I couldn't agree more. I love the pyramid. I can actually see it. And I'm pretty, yeah, I'm going to get your book. Can you tell us where to find it? Because it never ends. It never ends. And you may know someone who is in the thick of it and they feel as if it could be a deal breaker for their current marriage or their relationship, the children or the children's mother or the children's father. It could be both ways. And, so tell us where we can get our book. We always know someone, and maybe perhaps our situation may not fit their needs. I'm pretty sure you're going to tell us where to find your book and how it speaks to everyone in every situation.
I do have free resources. My book is almost launching, but I definitely have free resources for those bonus moms to take 21 days of me, which is getting back to knowing yourself and who you used to be, because we can get so overwhelmed with everything and being a bonus mom and joining this journey. So you can find everything on blendedtothrive.com, as well as my other free resource that I have, which is counting your wins, from perfection to progression, because it's not perfect, right? You think everything is perfect, but you got to progress. Nothing is perfect but God. So definitely count your wins, no matter how big, how small. You want to buy your mom talk. Okay, that's a big win. Your bonus child didn't, yell at you, or count everything as a blessing, big or small. Count it as a win, sis, and you got this.
Yes, yes. Okay. LaKrish, we can go forever. I love everything that you said. I love our conversation. I would love to have you back on, because we could go deep in this. And there's so many different situations or there's so many different dynamics of blended family that there is something and there's conversation for everybody and from every circumstances and every different situation. So, I want to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Woman Witness Podcast of Stories at the Well. If you were blessed by something that was said today, we ask that you take this episode, you share it, follow LaKrish on all social media. I will put all of the information that she mentioned in the description below. Also, leave those free samples or free resources that she has available for you in the description below, because I do believe that we all can benefit from it. Hey, it starts with you, mom. And no one better than to talk about being a bonus mom and living in their bonus mom era, honey. And LaKrish Mayes. So thank you so much, LaKrish, for joining us. And perhaps, lady, just perhaps you were chosen for such a time as this to write, to tell your story, your truth. Until next time. Bye.